Working with graphic effects in PowerPoint. I'm simply going to insert a picture on this first slide, a JPEG here, and you'll see that it becomes the first layer in this slide. Picture Tools Format tab appears, and in the Arrange group I can hit Selection pane here. In the Selection Visibility pane, you can of course see that Picture 5 is the first shape on the slide, meaning it's the top layer. If I want, I can click down so that it becomes the last layer. We've talked about Selection and Visibility pane in a number of modules, but again, I want to reinforce or reiterate what I've said in other modules, in that it's important when you're editing to turn on the Selection pane and see exactly how many shapes are on the slide. I'm going to reposition it so that the shape is number 1. Keep it highlighted and go to the size group. I can choose a horizontal, I can change the height of the shape or the width of the shape by typing in exactly the height and the width, or I can resize by grabbing any one of these corners here. I can make the image smaller so that it can fit. So I'm working now with the ribbon, and I can adjust it for its width as well. Let's say I want to make it this size. I could drag it over and position it here. Once I have it positioned to where I would like it to be, let's work with some picture styles. In this More gallery list of styles, I might want to pick something like Bevel, Perspective Left, or I can choose Reflected, etc. Let's choose Bevel. It offers up a different look for this picture. Let's work with some picture effects now. When I find picture effects in the picture styles grouping, I can choose to select a grow variation. You can see the live preview underneath my drop down here taking effect, so just watch that as I'm hovering. Let's pick this one, gold. Then I can return to picture effects if I want and choose some kind of reflection. Let's pick this one here, and so on. I can do the same thing to text. So with this placeholder here, the text box, the Drawing Tools Format tab, in the Shape Styles group, I'll go to Shape Effects. Soft edges, 1 point, 5 points. I can go to shadow, reflection, glow, etc. Suppose I want to insert a text box and affect the look of it. When I go to Insert and choose Text Box, I can position, let's say, the text box right here. Then I can type and I've got some text. I've chosen some font formats and paragraph formats. I changed the font, the sizing, the alignment, and I've also changed the spacing, the aligned text, and I've also changed the spacing. Now I'm going to change this text box to word art. When I go to the Drawing Tools Format tab on the ribbon, and in the Word Art Styles group, I'll choose one of these Word Art Styles. I'm going to choose a Word Art style, let's say this one here for now, and create another shape so that this text box will appear on top of that shape. When I go to Insert and choose Shapes, I'm going to choose the medallion here, number 32, and draw it. I'll resize it later if I need to. Then drag it over, and you can see right now it's on top of this text. What we'll do is we'll, on the Selection and Visibility pane, make it so that it goes down, so it's below the text box. The text box, once I select it, let's say I'm going to make it so that it's smaller, so I'll go to the Home tab and the font size, make it smaller so that the text can fit inside of this box here, inside of the medallion, and drag it on top. There we go. To further change the effect of the medallion, I'll select it. And you see how without using the selection and visibility pane, sometimes it's a hit and miss. So if I want to select the medallion, and actually I can rename it, so let's call it medallion here. Something like that. I hope I spelled it correctly. I can easily highlight any shape on the slide by clicking on that shape. So I've highlighted medallion, and then now I'm going to choose Drawing Tools Format, Shape Effects, and choose Bevel. We'll pick Divot. And when I click, you can see more of a 3D effect. We're not quite done yet. It'd be great if this text box could somehow wrap. When I click on Text Box and go to the Drawing Tools Format tab, I'm going to go to Text Effects and work with Transform. Button is perfect. So when I click on it, you can see how it wraps itself around inside of this medallion.